Okay, so this is a routine cataract, like a stage 4 cataract, uh, and with very little epinuclear material which is there. So these are the ones that typically don't have any protection. So when we are doing the phacoemulsification of these type of cataracts, we may tend to have an inadvertent touch of the posterior capsule suddenly because of surge. So, what is most important to remember in these cases is to prevent the knee jerk reaction of withdrawing the probe. Stay calm, stay composed. Make sure you don't let the chamber collapse at any stage. You secure all the nuclear materials over the iris plane. Do an tricot assisted anterior vitrectomy. Once we have done the tricot assisted anterior vitrectomy, something that I feel every anterior segment surgeon should know is the use of a pars plana posterior vitrectomy. And the advantage of a pars plana posterior vitrectomy would be that you do not allow the size of the rent to increase. You pull the vitreous back into its normal position or the physiological position. And after having a good vitreous cut off, that means the whole connection between the anterior and the posterior capsule, the vitreous connection is lost. I used a foldable IOL as a scaffold in the bag. Once the IOL is scaffolded into the bag, I have compartmentalized the anterior and the posterior segment and then continued with phacoemulsification to aid the removal of the remaining nuclear materials. So this is a relatively good technique to be learned, especially when you do not want the size of your end to increase. So I want to have some few key home points that are take home points, especially in this particular video. This is the post picture of the day one of the patient. Is pre and they dilated. So most important is never withdraw your probe in a knee-jerk reaction. Always maintain your chamber with an OVD. Posterior pars plana vitrectomy is must for every surgeon to know, and an IOL scaffold could be used. But sometimes in trying to do the same technique, we may kind of lose the whole essence of the thing, and we also need to know when to stop. So the second video is going to tell us more about when to stop. So we have a rent, and I did think of the same thing. So I did bring the nuclear material back into the iris plane. I secured the nuclear material into the iris plane. I had an option to convert to a ECC or a SICS. I decided to use the scaffold. Two important things. I used a foldable scaffold, but this time I used it in sulcus. So again, a bring home point, which I will come to later, helps to compartmentalize the eye. It prevents the loss of nuclear fragments into the vitreous cavity and also prevents the vitreous from coming to the probe. So this helps you finish your phacoemulsification such that you can get to favorable results. So I continued with the phacoemulsification and I was having my nuclear pieces where I suddenly felt that there has been some fluid, like you can see the air bubble coming. I had some fluid disturbance that came in, and my scaffold then shifted laterally, and I lost the pieces into the vitreous cavity. This is the time when you know you do not want to go fishing for the pieces. You need to stop, withdraw your probe, you remove the scaffold that has been put, because now you cannot put a single piece into the sulcus. I inspected and saw where the CCC is, and at this point of time did an tricot assisted limited anterior vitrectomy, made sure that there is no vitreous stands into the anterior chamber, used the three piece in sulcus. At this point I definitely feel that we should put our three piece in sulcus and then hand over the case to the vitreoretinal surgeon for the cortical cleanup, which happens later. Now, this Dr. Gaurav is going to cover in detail, but I just wanted to bring home a point. When you have ruptured the bag and you have a small tag, it's better to convert it into a PCCC. And that's more important to stabilize the bag. We are all talking about the bag not going disrupted, so that you want to do premium IOLs and have a lens that is placed in the bag. The important point is use an iris hook, because the visualization now is poor, to see the capsular edge such that you can dial the lens into the bag. So that is the point I wanted to bring home, that just a single iris hook can help you visualize the capsular bag to dial it. But sometimes we could be absolutely unlucky and have a complete loss of the capsular bag. In such a situation also, when we have a complete loss of the capsular bag, I prefer this technique now and I'm quite liking it, where you just make a scleral tunnel because you're using a rigid IOL. Mark the 0 and the 180 degree. 2 millimeters behind the limbus, just mark two other points. Then you take a 26 number needle and you preload it with the Prolene, that is the 60 Prolene. Once that is done, you pass it through and bring the Prolene out of the main wound like this. The same technique is repeated on the other edge, where you put a preloaded 26 number needle, which is with your Prolene, and bring the leading part out of the tunnel. Once this is done, you use a PMMA lens, which is with your haptic holes are present, and make a flange of the edge of the PMMA. The advantage of this technique is you are not having any maneuvering inside the eye. All your maneuvers are happening outside, which is relatively stable. And now when you put this lens back into the chamber, it is well supported. So the lens is now dialed back into the eye. Once you are comfortable with the way the lens is positioned, you can tighten the other part of the Prolene, cut it and make a flange on either side and have a wonderful fixation. But sometimes you have to expect the unexpected. So this was a case where the patient came to us with a subluxated lens. And what happened is we thought it is probably an haptic broken because the posterior capsule could also be clearly seen. So with the help of iris hooks, we improved our visualization. And post improving the visualization, we realized that the capsule is intact, but the lens is also intact. What came to our surprise was there was a complete zonular dialysis that was present. I tried opening the bag to try to secure this lens so that I could secure it. And this was going to give me an unstable complex. So we explanted the IOL. Once the IOL was explanted, I also had to sacrifice the bag complex. Now, this I did bring up because sometimes you're not ready for this. And in these cases, it is better to go ahead and do the Yamane technique because in this technique, it's Yamane is better because you just need a 3-piece and a 26 gauge or a 27 gauge needle or a 30 gauge wide bore needle. Take a 3-piece sensor, which I usually keep in stock. And I did externalize the haptics and
Genuine,
flanched it,
this
then
music is
used
from your
the other
laptop. You can
side,
mute it actually.
externalized, flanched it, did a tricot assisted vitrectomy and had a well-centered IOL. So the whole idea is that you could use each of your stumbling blocks as stepping stones to have favorable outcomes in your cataract surgery.